Good morning again, DFC, and today I'd like to talk to you about our activity of the day, short stories. So we're going to learn how to identify and analyze the elements of storytelling to understand how and why they're used in fiction. So in other words, we're looking at what makes a short story a short story. Aside from the length, obviously. But aside from the length, stories have these elements in common, which you probably have learned in grade 9 and 10 English. But this is just a review. So these are all things that stories have. They have characters, plot, atmosphere, etc. And for those who may need a bit of review, this is typically what a plot looks like. You have your beginning or exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and finally your conclusion or resolution. So if you've never learned what these elements are, or you just need a refresher, there's a description of them right where this highlighted text is. So after reading that, please watch today's video and you'll be ready to move on to today's task. So usually in class, I do this story as a class where we do a group reading. Unfortunately, we can't do that now. So on your own, I'd like you to read this short story called Lost in Space by Drew Hayden Taylor. Just click on it and it will take you right here. So just read this story. It's about 10 pages long. And complete the following activities. So I'd like you to find 5 words that you may not be familiar with, and then predict what you think the definition of those words would be, and then compare your predicted definition in this column to the actual dictionary definition. So you can literally type in the word into dictionary.com, type in what word you need to know, and then you can copy and paste its actual definition into that space there. So if you're unfamiliar with the word unfamiliar, even though it's literally the opposite of familiar, so predict the definition here, use an actual dictionary to find out what the word is, and in the space here, you just write the word as it is. So that's task 1. Task 2 is tell me about what is happening at each part in the plot for Lost in Space. So tell me what's happening in the beginning, the rising action where the conflict is introduced, what the climax is, what happens immediately after the climax, and then finally, how are the characters different from the events of the story? Because in any good story, the characters will be different, either better or worse, based on what kind of story you want to tell. But the story's events or the plot should change who they are. And then finally, for task 2, I'd like you to just identify at least one idea from the story about each storytelling element. So tell me, what was the conflict? Who are the characters? What's the atmosphere like? What's the theme? What lesson is it trying to teach? And once again, definitions for these things are right here. Task 3 is, I'd like you to just brainstorm. Don't write the story yet, but just brainstorm ideas for a short story of your own. So just be very brief, 1 point, not even full sentences for each idea. But just write ideas for a short story that you would like to tell. And then when we go to actually write the story, you can choose to use these details or not. It's up to you. But one thing that will be or could be part of your portfolio is making a book cover for this short story. So this short story has its own cover. Well, it's part of a collection called take us to your chief. But the short story itself, it does not have its own, there's no book cover to it. There just goes right into the book, or the story, I should say. What I'd like you to do is create a short story cover for this story, or you can make one up, or you could use your own ideas, whatever you want to do. Just make a book cover about any type of book, whether that book is real or not. So how do you do that? Well, you go on to canva.com. And once you log in, you can log in with your Google account. Then it'll ask you to create a design. And well, what do you know? Book cover is right there. So just select from the templates. Hey, thrilling book cover. Let's see all. And find that one that would go well. Hey, this one. So Drew Hayden Taylor is the author's name. And remember, you can adjust font size, color, and font type up at the toolbar here. So I want to make it more visible. Drew Hayden Taylor. And we can make like a tagline, which would be a sci-fi short story. I just did this super quick. You can spend more time on it. And you can adjust the colors. Say, I don't like that color. Ooh, that is better. So this watermark you can't get rid of without paying. Yeah, I want you to pay $1.39. If you want to pay that, feel free to, but you don't have to. If there's a watermark, it's not going to reduce your mark or anything. But once you've created your book cover, you want to download it as a PDF. This one it wants you to pay, but you can download a free watermark draft. So you can download that. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to insert it as a screenshot. So control, all right, function, print screen. And then you can just do that. Or another way is use the snipping tool. So type in snipping tool into your search bar. I can move myself, click new, and then just drag what you want to capture in your screenshot. And then just literally copy and paste it into your document. There you go. So there's my book cover. And if you need help doing that, you can replay this video or pop into the Google Meet session and ask Kyle or I. But the easiest way to do it would probably be the snipping tool. Just snipping tool, click on it, click new, and then just drag whatever you want to capture, then copy and paste. So just remember that task 4, this book cover, is your potential portfolio item. So if you do it now, It'll be less you'll need to do as the unit ends. So I don't need it anymore. I can just delete it. But I would like you guys to put your book cover in this document just so I can see it. I want to see your beautiful artwork. All right. So also remember to give yourself a mark based on how well you achieve today's learning goal. And if you complete all parts of the assignment, then you get 4 out of 4. All right, everyone. Please remember to turn in or submit any documents by just clicking that turn in button here. That just alerts me that you have finished the assignment and it's ready for marking. All right, if there are no further questions, I hope you guys have a good day and hope to see you in Google Meet too. Bye, everyone.